These are the curved right and left inserts. They are traditionally used as periodontal inserts. One curves to the right and one curves to the left. They are area specific. Let's review what that means. We'll take the right insert, and if we place the right insert on the occlusal of tooth number 30 or 4-6, we can see that it curves to the right. With that, we know that we're going to enter into the periodontal pocket on the buccal, because the back of the insert, or the bump or the curvature to the right, is what is against the tooth upon entry. Remember, you need to have the 2 millimeters of adaptation. So if we know this is the correct insert here, we're in the vertical approach, we know it's the correct insert to use in the lingual here. Keep in mind, this is again called the vertical approach. Some like to refer to it as the probe-like approach, because you're literally going in a probe fashion. So vertical approach is for our periodontal pockets. And this is how we tell we have the correct insert, because the back is against the tooth as far as where you're entering. We can also use the curved inserts in what we call the transverse approach, and that's in a more supra-gingival approach. And it's interesting, if you can see this, that it has the same curvature as the Nevi posterior sickle. So the Nevi here, this end curves to the left, and on your curved insert, curves to the left like so. So let's look at the transverse approach with the Nevi. This time we're going in a toe-up fashion, and we know that the Nevi is a sickle, and it's meant to go under the contact like so, on the distal of tooth number 30, and here the mesial of tooth number 31. We're not going to use this in a probe fashion, because we do not do that with a sickle. It's meant to be supra. Our curved inserts can do the same thing. So the left insert here is being used in the transverse or toe-up approach for supra deposit. We don't want to use this into the furcation, because as you can see, we would be toe on. So if we use the insert here on the transverse, we know that it's the correct insert on the opposite side in the vertical periodontal approach. So if vertical is correct here, we know that vertical here is going to be correct. If we know that vertical here is correct, we know that we can also use it transversely on the opposite side of the tooth. Keeping in mind, we want to have 2 millimeters of adaptation, and this shows just about 2 millimeters of adaptation. Very important, even in the transverse approach, that 2 millimeters is adapted. We don't want to have less than that, because it's too toe on. And we don't want to have more than that, because the toe will actually lose contact with the tooth. So transverse, toe up, then we know over here is in the perio approach. That's the left insert, but truly it's more important to understand the anatomy of the insert, the shape, the design. This is the face here, and that's the back, the convex back, lateral sides. 2 approaches for the curved insert. Vertical or perio, transverse for supra. Same thing here on the anterior, you could use it on the anterior as well. Vertical for periodontal, And then we know on the opposite, we can use it just like a sickle, as long as we have the correct adaptation.